Alan Asprey, and this is my father, Dave Asprey. And we're here to talk about the coronavirus. This video could be good for adults, kids, just in general.
In general, all right. So, you had some questions, and I had some answers, or maybe you had the answers. What do you want to talk about?
The death rate of coronavirus.
You want to know about pandemic math?
Yeah.
All right, let's do pandemic math.
So what was the death rate? It was pretty high. Or not that high, but what was the percentage?
4.3%. Or was it 3.8%? We keep hearing different numbers. You want to know why?
Yeah.
It's because x plus y minus z divided by infinity plus 2 equals... No?
Okay.
Okay, maybe that wasn't why.
I think you went on to the wrong thing.
Too much coffee does that. All right, let's talk about what pandemic math is. So should we start in the middle and build up, or should we start at the world and build in?
Let's start in the middle and build up.
The middle, then you the very middle. Okay, here we go. So this is the number of people who die. Okay, now every day people die of air pollution, cancer, heart disease, car accidents, all kinds of reasons. And more people die from those things than coronavirus. So coronavirus spreads and it's dangerous and it's creating a surge in hospitals that we're doing things to stop. But it's not as big as some of the other things. So it's dangerous, but it's not that dangerous, right? So right now it's a short-term danger for society. But what percentage of people don't have symptoms or don't have very strong symptoms? 80%, right? And you could still get someone else sick, which is why we're socially isolating. But that means most kids are pretty safe. Yep.
Yep.
Do you have friends who are worried about it?
I don't know, because we've been self-isolating.
I've
I've only been talking to one on Skype, and I think he has coronavirus, so...
He's coughing a lot, isn't he?
Yeah.
Well, he seems
Not
like
really
he's
sure.
doing okay, but he's working on it.
Yeah.
All right. If this is the number of people who dies, and this is the number of people who have coronavirus because they've been tested, okay, then this number way out here,
Okay, that's
we should get a bigger board, shouldn't we?
That's really big. What's that?
That's the population. It's everybody.
Mm-hmm.
This is everyone. Now, if you want to figure out what percentage of people die, it's the number of people who die divided by number of people in the world. That's going to be a very different number than this. So if we test 100 people,
Then if, let's say, 5 of them die, the death rate will be 5% versus
right.
If you test everyone and, let's say, 100 people die.
So that looks like about 5%, yeah. Right?
About.
Do you see a problem with this math already?
Yeah.
That's
what's tested.
Do you mean there might be a magic number that no one knows? That's the real number?
Yeah, because like you said, 80% of people who get the coronavirus don't know they have it or have mild symptoms and don't get tested, so they can't know.
So we also have data from people saying eventually 50% of people at least are going to get coronavirus, just like common colds.
Everyone's had a cold, pretty much.
Pretty much. So let's assume that the real number of people who have the coronavirus is that. Now, from an area perspective, this is 4 times bigger than this at least, and probably even 5 or 10 times bigger based on other pandemics we've had. So the real death rate, if this was 100 people, and this was 5 people, we go, oh no, 5% of us could die. But in reality, if you look at this, this might be 10,000 people.
So if it's 5 out of 100, that's 0.5 out of 1,000 and 0.05 out of 10,000.
So this is 5%, and this is 0.5%.
0.05.
No.
Oh wait, yeah, 0.
Am I right? Oh no, you're right. 0.05%. Thank you for the math correction, son.
Thank you, because it's 10 times would be...
I had an extra zero there. I thought that was 1,000, it was 10,000. So if you look at this, the number dropped dramatically. Now you might say, Dave, we think you're making up these numbers, except let's talk about another thing. Ellen, have you ever heard of H1N1?
No.
No. H1N1 is another similar pandemic that happened 14 years ago, I think. And it came out, and scientists said, this could be the end. The death rate is 1.3%.
No! That's not even as bad as Corona.
Well, still, if 1.3% of people who get it die, that's a lot, because we got 7 billion people on the planet. That's
a lot.
That's because they only knew this number of people tested. They didn't know the infected number. So,
do you know what it actually came out to after we knew everything?
Yeah.
What?
4 years later, after they really had a good way of determining the magic number, they said, oh, we were wrong. It wasn't 1.3%. It was 0.02%.
Oh.
So, does this mean that the coronavirus is not dangerous?
No.
No. It is dangerous, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why is it dangerous?
Because you could die, but it's very unlikely.
You could die, but if you're old or your immune system doesn't work, you have a pretty strong chance of dying.
That probably goes up from 0, it's just a guess, 0.02 to, what would you say, 0.5?
We could guess, but it would be meaningless because who knows the magic number?
Yeah, no one.
But what we do know is that the magic number is way bigger than the number we're using. So when people get on the news, they go, it's the end of the world! And they say 4.3% of people. And then they multiply that. It's just junk science. It's not real. But what is real is that our grandparents, our elders, our wise people, if we don't stay home for a little while so that they can be isolated and so that we can let the hospitals empty out a little bit, when they do get it, they have a much greater chance of dying. So because we care about others, we are self-isolating. And for us, we're not perfectly safe if we get it. I'm not going to go out there and lick Corona juice.
Lick some Corona beer. You're guaranteed to get it.
I think I probably wouldn't lick the Corona beer either at this point.
It's probably not that good to have alcohol when...
Yeah, alcohol doesn't help your immune system. But this is what I wanted you to know, and I wanted people listening to know, is that the large death rate isn't so likely, but that the people that we love and people we don't even know can and do die from coronavirus. They also die from the flu and heart disease and cancer and other things like that. And that's why all of us can work together to make sure that you are strong so that if and when you do get the coronavirus, you're sick for a little while and then you move on. And if and when I get it, I'm sick for a little while, I move on. And what happens after you get it?
You're immune.
Hallelujah. So let's do our part. Let's flatten the curve and then let's go, wait a minute. What if I just never have to go to the hospital? I'm technically part of the curve of someone who got infected, but I didn't clog up a bed.
You didn't count.
That's right. So be one of the magic numbers who never has to get tested because you didn't know you were sick because you're that healthy. Will you join me in being healthy?
Yep. Also, talking about elders dying, I think you're a pretty good elder, so please don't die on me.
Did you just call me an elder?
Yeah. Well,
I'm not even 50.
You're knowledgeable. How's that?
Oh, thank you. I'm so happy about that. By the way, you know where I learned most of my stuff?
Where?
People over 70.
Oh.
I consider those my elders, but when I'm 70, I'm going to go after those 90-year-olds. And I am your elder, so.
When you're 90, you're going to go after 110-year-olds.
I'll share my knowledge with you and anyone else who wants to hear it. And thank you for asking. Thank you for doing this video for everyone.
This is a good instance of sharing knowledge because all you people watching, I don't know how many there are, but if you watch this, you'll probably learn something from it.
Thanks, Alan.
Bye.